Hi friends, my name is Vinod and today I'm going to show you how you can secure your API using OAuth mechanism. So first of all, let me tell you this is Anypoint Studio and that is Package Explorer where you will find all of your projects, and this is Canvas where you will create your flows, and this is Mule Palette where you will find all of the connectors, right? So the thing is, I have already created these flows. I will just explain you each and everything. But just because I don't want to make this video lengthy, so I have already created it, right? So first of all, click on the global elements, and okay. So in the global elements, what we have to do is we have to create two object store. One is for client and one is for token. So for creating object store, we just have to click on create and search for object store. Okay, so just name it and click on ok. And yes, one more thing, we have to search for OAuth provider, and in OAuth provider we just have to select for edit inline, which is default, and client store we have to select client object store, and yes, grant type. So there are many kind of grant types. I will explain each and everything in my upcoming videos, but for now we have to use client credentials as grant type, right? And in token config we have to select edit inline and path. This is actually endpoint from where we will get our access token. So in the token store we have to use token wise. So as I have already created it, so I will click on cancel. And one more thing you have to do is search for token manager config, and in the token manager config there is a object store field. Select token OS and click on ok, right? So that is you have to do in the global elements, and then come to the message flow. So first of all, we have to actually download the OAuth provider. So for downloading the OAuth provider, we have to look in on the Anypoint Exchange. So yes, search OAuth and you will find OAuth provider module. Click on add and just click on finish. So I already have it, so I will click on cancel, right? So first you have to uh, add a listener, and in the listener what you just drag and drop it here. Okay, so in the listener what we have to do is we have to set an endpoint for creating a client, and this will be our endpoint. And the next thing, we have to search for create client and drag and drop it to here, and we have to set up all this thing, right? So we have to set up client ID, client secret, client name, and all that, right? So from where we are getting this client ID? From the headers. So we are using attributes.headers.client ID, attributes.headers.client secret, and yes, the another thing is authorization grant type. We have to use client credentials, right? And yes, fail if present and click on next, right? So this will actually create your client, and it will store on the client object store, and then it will set a payload, which is just a simple message that client is created, and we are transforming this payload into JSON format, and that is payload which is output, right? So that is one flow for creating a client. And another flow we have to create for validating that access token. Okay, so for validating we have to use a listener, and this is our endpoint which is validate, and this is we just have to search validate token, drag and drop it to here, right? And then we will find these properties, and in the access token field what we have to actually write, we have to write attributes.headers authorization split by, and this thing I will paste in the description. So that's how we can validate our access token, and we are using a transform message which is actually output. We will get the output in the JSON format, and payload means output, right? So yes, so this is our endpoint for creating the client. Our endpoint will be create client, and for validating that access token, our endpoint will be the validate, right? And for getting that access token, our endpoint will be token, as we have set up it here. Let me show you. This will be the endpoint for getting that access token. Okay, so that's how we just created a mule auth, we can say that auth server flow, and yes, flow is completed. So you just have to run the mule, and you just have to actually deploy it on the Cloudhub. Okay, for deploying what you have to do is just click on, okay, just click on Anypoint platform, and then you will say you have to select deploy to Cloudhub, right? And see, your endpoint will be let me tell you, for creating client it will be a create client, and for validate it will be a valid, right? So in the postman you can create a client and validate the access token, right? So as I have already deployed this app, so okay, so in this you have, yes, you have to click on properties, and you have to set up all these things like your Anypoint platform client ID and client secret. I will paste these all these information in the in the description, so you will just copy and paste and just put your client ID and client secret of the Anypoint platform. Okay, so then click on deploy. I have already deployed, so I will click on cancel. And so that's how you can create a mule auth flow. So after deploying it onto the Cloud Hub, we will see that how we can set up our custom policies and how we can use this flow in our custom policy, right? So I will tell you this all this in my next video. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.